Chang, and today gonna do a bonus video for our class CS 5610, the web development. And then the topic I'm gonna introduce is deploy React to AWS S3. So first of all, let me introduce the table of contents that we're gonna have. So first of all, we'll have an introduction of React and S3, and then I'll talk about the advantages of using this tech stack. Then we will talk about the prerequisites of you using React and S3. And then lastly, I will do a demo of the deployment process. So firstly, React is a free and open source front-end JS library. It is used for building interactive user interfaces based on user interface components. It was originally created by Meta, formerly called Facebook, and then currently maintained by Meta and the entire open source community composed of individuals and companies. Then about S3, so the name of it was Amazon Simple Storage Service, and then it's easier to call it just S3. It is an object storage service that offers industry-leading scalability, data availability, security, and performance. It is friendly not only to enterprises, but also to individuals, developers. Lastly, it is very easy to use in terms of the management features. The advantage of using this tech stack is that first, it is fast and easy. Second, you have a high durability of 99% of your deployed app, which means you can make use of the strong service built by AWS, which is like having this high durability and then the low balancing of their product. And lastly, it is very cost effective because the S3 service is charged by the amount of storage you use in terms of gigabyte, and then a React app will not be very large unless you use some like you store videos or photos or something like that in the service. So in terms of that, it's more almost like a free service compared to Heroku or random.com or other services. Yeah. The only prerequisites we have for this one is that first, you need to have an AWS account with the admin access, and second, you need to have a running React.js app, which is kind of like a no-sayer. Then I will do a demo of the entire process. So to start with, I will create a simple React app. So right now I just create a folder called React Demo, and then in here I will use the npx command to create a simple React app. Let's just call it my React. By using this npx command, which is more like a component library that's built by npm, it would just be easier to create an app rather than just starting from scratch and then doing everything by yourself. And as you can see, it's like loading, but it would take quite a while because there are tons of different packages and requirements of the app. Okay, as you can see here, it's now working, and then we can do according to its suggestion, which is first we see there is a folder called my React, so we cd into my React, and then we do an npm start that could start our npm in the localhost. Then we should be able to see it in our localhost. As you can see, it's loading. Yeah, and this is more like the default of the React. Then what we'll do is stop the running application by Control C. And then now we have to do a npm run build to create a build folder just for later deployment usage. While it's loading the build, we will now switch to the S3 interfaces. So this is the screen that we have for AWS. So this is more like the main screen. We'll first search the S3, so it could direct us to the service that we wanted. So be sure that we select S3 instead of the S3 Glacier, which is a different thing. So we'll click the create bucket to create a new one for our usage. So for the name, I'll just call it deploy my React. The region, I'll just let with the default. And for the ownership, I will just go with the recommended. And then here come to the public access settings. Since we have to host a website or host the application with this bucket, so it will require us to unclick this. And of course, we have to acknowledge the warnings. And then for the following settings, we can just ignore it and take the defaults. So now we have a new bucket called deploy my React built in the S3. So let's open it. As you can see, it's now empty. So what we have to do is first click on the permissions. So we have blocked all of the public access and then turn it off. What we have to do here is to set the bucket policy so that we will be able to access it from the outside. So they have this kind of generator that we can just use. So what we have to do is to look for the get access, which means others could retrieve the stuff we uploaded to our S3. So this is the get product. And the principal should be a null. Oh no, it should be ARN as it stated. So we should come back and copy the bucket ARN. It's more like the unique identifier for our bucket. Okay, the principal is here. And then is the resource. Okay. Yep. So we set the fact to be allowed, the principal to as a null, and then the service is S3, and then the action is just get object because that's all we wanted, and then the ARN is the resource number. The resource name. We just copy from the S3 bucket. So now we will just do an add. Yep, generate policy. Now we're gonna copy it over to here. So that's all we have. So we don't have to worry about this one. This is like in the past. It's more like a user statement. All we care about is what is inside this statement. You can see that the action, which is like the policy we choose, and then the resource is like our app, and then yeah, that's all I have about. So now we have to save the changes. API response embedded principle. Yeah, it seems like it escaped our principle, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, it's not allowing us to do that. So we can just Google Bucket to see how can we solve that. Supported values for principal element. Yep, as we can see here, it's saying that the asterisk will represent all users. So for the sake of this tutorial, we just use the asterisk. Okay, so I think here is the problem. Oops. Yeah, let's try to do this to resolve the problem that we have. Add resource. So now we should be able to policy as an embedded resource. So it seems like for the resource, we just have to do this. Instead of the asterisk, we have to put it here instead of in the second line. Okay, so now we have the permission set for our deployment at 3. And then now let's go to the properties part. So in here, we're gonna look for the static website hosting, which is this one, and turn it on, enable. And then we don't have to redirect because we only have one site, so it's more like host a static website. And then for the index document, it would be just the default index, and then same here for the error document, the HTML. And then we can just save the changes. Yep, it's now saved, and then we have this deploy site. Okay, let's now go back to here. as you can see, is now the build is completed. So we're ready to deploy it to S3. So here is the folder that we have everything of it, and then all we need is the one inside the build. So as you can see, is these eight files and folders. So now let's go back to here, to our bucket. So go to the object sections, and then click and then try to upload the files we just mentioned, which are all of these. Just drag it over. It will be much easier than clicking one by one. Okay, as you can see, it's now the upload is completed. It's seeded. So we have everything we needed in the S3. Then let's go back and check the URL that we have. Already, we have the site we wanted. The local React app is deployed in the S3 bucket, and then you can now access this from anywhere of the world, and then the rest will be handled by the Amazon services, Amazon Cloud services, and we don't have to worry about anything like NGX or other hassles like setting up the configuration in Heroku and so. And that's all of my presentation and tutorial, and thank you so much for watching.